My name is Megan Dion. I am the Public Art and Artist Program Specialist with the Nebraska Arts Council, and welcome to the Fred Simon Gallery, which is located in the Nebraska Arts Council offices in the Old Market in Omaha, Nebraska. The Nebraska Arts Council is a state agency that offers programs, grants, and opportunities that foster creativity across the state. One of our programs is the Fred Simon Gallery, and we feature exhibitions by artists dealing with all different content from all over the state. Right now, we're going to hear from our current exhibiting artist about the work that they create for this gallery and in their studio practice, and why they do that. So we look forward to seeing you at the Fred Simon Gallery and the Nebraska Arts Council very soon.
Hi, my name is Lindsey Weber. I have a show at the Fred Simon Gallery titled Marked for Unbelonging. It's a series of mixed media works, drawing and printmaking. I guess I started this series just thinking about pride flags and the many different pride flags that represent different parts of my community. And how there's so many that it's hard to keep track of them. And I started thinking about that kind of digital space of flag making and symbol making, because many of these flags only exist digitally, they don't exist physically. And I started thinking about other movements that exist digitally, specifically anti-pride movements. So I began layering up these pride flags with anti-pride symbols that I found in digital spaces. But at the same time, I was reading Biological Exuberance, which is a seminal text on homosexuality in the animal kingdom. And I started thinking about how flags represent place and the occupation of land, and how flags and our sexuality and the occupying of space within nature, how those kinds of things start to come together. And so I was just interested in putting all of these images on top of each other and seeing what happened. My piece, X's and O's, it's part of my Marked for Unbelonging series. This is probably my favorite piece in the exhibition, and it was the first one I started with. Every animal in here is taken from the book Biological Exuberance, and that book basically catalogs animals that display homoerotic tendencies, same-sex relationships, intersectionality, and transgenderism. And so each piece is specifically an animal that represents those characteristics within the scientific catalog. So I kind of just created a fantasy scene where all those animals could come together. And then I put the pangender flag over the animals. That's a pride flag that I don't think I've seen physically anywhere, but I have seen it in digital spaces. And the pangender flag is kind of a flag that is representative of a community that doesn't think of themselves as transgender. They're not identifying with one gender more than another, rather they think of themselves as multiple genders or all genders. And I think for me, like, this pride flag feels resonant, even though it's not a physical flag or one I have myself, or even how I identify. But that's kind of why I wanted to start with that image. And then layered over that, you have this heart shape, which is actually an anti-pride flag. It's a cisgender pride flag that was designed by a cis het activist. And then over that, I have these shapes of X's and O's to kind of represent the oppositionalism of biological gender and sort of how it becomes almost like a sports team metaphor. And then these tiny marks within the drawing are all created using X's and O's to kind of like tie those shapes and themes back into the animal layer. This is another series I did called Feed, and this is just part of one large work of art that consists of 81 smaller panels. Each grid of 9 represents something that I grew or foraged when I first moved to Nebraska to farm with my then partner. And the whole series is kind of a Dutch Vanitas still life vignette that chronicles the implosion of our relationship. It's kind of a meditation on like farming and mental health and all of the issues that surround that I think are really prevalent here in Nebraska. This is panel 2 of a diptych called The Quiet Parts. This is a relief print which I made by carving out a large block of wood, inking up the surface of that wood, and then printing it on paper on a really big press at Constellation Studio in Lincoln, Nebraska. This series is just me getting out my angst. I was a late in life queer person, and I was just wanting to explore what closetedness was like to me. So as you can see, the panels directly mirror a closet door with the black squares obscuring my face and the face of my current girlfriend. Because even when you're out of the closet, you're never really out. So it's just kind of a meditation on closetedness and whether or not that's something that as queer people we should really even care about. Thank you for watching my artist talk. You can find more of my artwork and updates at lindseyweberart.com, or you can find me on Instagram at lindseyweberart.